My name is Zerra. I'm a survivalist, a hunter, a farrier, a butcher. I have a lot of titles.
Zerra once slept next to decomposing animal carcasses, chewed on live insects to survive, and wandered alone in the jungle for weeks without encountering another soul. The challenges on Naked and Afraid were not only a battle with the brutal forces of nature, but also a silent battle within her, one that only she could understand. As a sought-after star on the show, Laura sank deeper into loneliness and a sense of alienation whenever the cameras turned off. This is the story of an unbreakable strength and the silent tragedy Laura has carried with her throughout her life. Zerra, born on September 16, 1985, grew up in the suburbs of western Massachusetts. From a young age, she always felt more connected to the wild than to urban life. She was particularly drawn to wildlife, especially a pack of gray wolves, a species friendly enough to allow her close proximity. The forest is where I feel I truly belong. Every time I had to go home at night, I felt regret, wondering why I felt like a stranger in nature. She shared. That feeling drove her to seek a primitive lifestyle, where she could integrate and survive within the wild. Her curiosity about how humans could survive without relying on modern society led Zerra to begin studying the food sources that could be found in nature. She experimented with building shelters and constantly learned from her mistakes. The more she explored, the more she realized a simple truth: survival doesn't require as much as we think it does. As early as high school, Zerra became fascinated with the stories of indigenous people and human ancestors, those who not only survived through survival skills, but also lived in harmony with nature. She studied how they hunted, gathered native plants, and made tools with their own hands. This deepened her desire to learn more about the primitive lifestyle. To expand her knowledge, she attended the University of Connecticut, where she pursued a double major in anthropology and biology, along with a minor in environmental studies. It was there that she met Professor Manuel Lizarralde, a prominent anthropologist who grew up in an indigenous tribe in Venezuela. He taught her how to make bows and arrows and hunt, an experience that was transformative for Zerra, who had been a vegetarian since high school. At first, she felt conflicted. "I used to hate the idea of raising an animal just to kill it," she said. "But humans are omnivores. We have canine teeth, and our bodies are designed to consume meat." From then on, she found a path that aligned with her philosophy: eating roadkill. It may sound strange to many, but in my view, this is the most sustainable source of food. It's completely natural, free of artificial chemicals, and not factory farmed or fattened up. It's even fresher than what you buy at the supermarket, she explained. Zerra doesn't view hunting as a pastime, but as a ritual tied to ethics and spirituality. "I'm not interested in killing for fun, but survival is just that. If you can't photosynthesize, you have to kill to eat, whether it's plants or animals," she shared. For her, every life is precious, and if she has to take the life of an animal, she feels responsible for using its entire body and honoring it in the most profound way possible. During the months when she isn't hunting, Zerra spends her time honing her skills. She patiently tracks prey, studies their habits, and experiments with how close she can get to them. She uses various methods, from traditional bows, compound bows, to rifles. Zerra mostly taught herself survival skills, but was always looking for opportunities to expand her knowledge. While in college, she sought out jobs that allowed her to practice survival techniques. She worked at the Wilderness Great Hollow School in Connecticut during the summers, teaching primitive survival, and interned at the Buffalo Field Campaign in West Yellowstone, Montana, where she had the opportunity to further develop her outdoor living skills. Throughout the years, her learning journey spanned many different jobs. She worked as a farrier, a taxidermist, on crab boats, mushroom hunting, planting trees, leading horseback trips, and processing wild animals. I'm fascinated by learning new things, she shared. Every skill I learn has its own meaning in the bigger picture. I learned taxidermy and butchering to become more self-sufficient. I learned farriery so I could care for horses on long trips, and determined to push her limits to new heights. After graduation, Zerra decided to take on an audacious challenge. She bought a one-way ticket to Cancun, Mexico, brought little money with her, hitchhiked, and took trains to Oaxaca, then continued along the western coast, traveling and researching survival methods in the forest. Those years of self-training and enhancing her survival skills were the foundation that prepared her for an even bigger challenge, joining the show Naked and Afraid. While staying at a friend's house on a mountaintop, Laura Zerra received an unexpected call from the casting agency, inviting her to participate in an episode of Naked and Afraid. A Discovery staff member quickly explained that, in this show, 2 contestants, one male and one female, would be dropped into one of the harshest environments on Earth, where they would have no food, water, or clothes, only one survival item to face the brutal challenges of nature. Without hesitation, Zerra decided to join. I was told I would be dropped into a completely unfamiliar place, with nothing but myself, to live with a stranger. And I thought, this is the ultimate free adventure, and it sounds so exciting, she shared. From that moment, Zerra went on to appear in a total of 5 episodes of the show, enduring challenges from Panama Island, the Amazon rainforest in Peru, Colombia, Alaska's glaciers, to 60 difficult days on Palawan Island in the Philippines. Adventure has always been a central theme in Zerra's life. She not only participated in 4 seasons of Naked and Afraid in wilderness areas, but also joined the sole season of Frozen and Afraid in Alaska, where she was dropped on a mountain with snow up to her waist. Before joining reality TV shows, Zerra worked with Andrew Eucles on the documentary North America: The Wild Meets the Weird, exploring wildlife in Australia. In spite of facing numerous challenges, Zerra admits that Naked and Afraid was not her favorite part. It's not because I'm embarrassed, but because I don't like to be someone who cares only about their image or ego, she explained. For Zerra, being a star or influencer was never the goal. My goal was to be taken to a place I had never been, to experience an adventure I could never create for myself. That's what I really get hooked on. When asked if her time living in New Hampshire helped prepare her for the show's challenges, Zerra answered immediately, "Oh, definitely. It's a mindset," she explained. "Survival to me is 90% mental attitude. The spirit of New Hampshire, where I grew up, with its persistence and quiet strength, was instilled in me. Oh, that spirit was especially evident during the harsh winters in New Hampshire, where storms could knock out power for days or cover everything with thick snow that needed to be cleared. This is when the state's can-do attitude shines." As Zerra shared, "There's no complaining, no sense of entitlement. This is life, and we can do it." That mindset drew me in when I first moved here as a young person, and it shaped who I am. The spirit of New Hampshire has been etched into me, and I carry it with me to this day. Zerra said that this mindset helped her prepare to face any challenge. "I knew I could complete Naked and Afraid, and I wasn't afraid of the challenge," she said, though the physical aspect came naturally to her. Zerra found the mental challenge to be harder. "I thought everything would be like the previous survival trips, but when there are cameras involved, everything changes. There's a strange mental aspect when they're wearing clothes, and you're not. It makes you feel vulnerable. You know they're eating while you're hungry, but you can't communicate because of the barriers." One silly memory from the show occurred when she and her companion, E.J. Snyder, were asked to film a segment in the Amazon. 3 crew members quit due to the horrible insects. and there was not enough footage for the episode. When Zerra asked locals how they dealt with the insects, the answer was, "We don't go into that area." Zerra and Snyder's trick was to sleep with the burlap sacks provided by the show to cover their heads at night. We looked like crazy scarecrows, but the mosquitoes were so thick that we inhaled them and choked. Zerra has faced death many times, being struck by lightning, encountering a brown bear, swimming among great white sharks, almost dying from hypothermia, and being swept away in a river. She is one of the survivors featured in the 5 episodes of Naked and Afraid on the Discovery Channel, which documents the journey of 2 people dropped into the wild with only one item and no food or water. One of Zerra's most extreme survival experiences occurred while hunting deer in the mountains of Idaho's National Forest. A sudden snowstorm hit, leaving her blinded and disoriented. The rolling hills made movement dangerous, with every step posing the risk of falling into an air pocket and being buried by snow. Suffocating. There was no emergency signal, and that didn't matter, because if she hit the button, no one would get there in time. Realizing that no one was going to save me was a beautiful and terrifying moment, when I knew that my fate was entirely in my own hands, she said. When I thought I had run out of everything, I found just a little bit more within myself. I kept moving in spite of feeling desperate, wondering if I was wasting energy going in the wrong direction, but I knew moving is keeping me alive. After the long days of surviving in the wild adventure, Zerra had the chance to sit down and share more about her experience and interesting behind-the-scenes stories about the other contestants on the show. These revelations gave Naked and Afraid fans a completely new and insightful perspective. The harshness is not everything in podcast. TWT 22. Laura Zerra Survivalist. Naked and Afraid Behind the Scenes. And Madagascar. Poop Flu. Laura Zerra opens a new door for listeners, sharing unique stories from her survival journey, especially on the show Naked and Afraid. She not only discusses the extreme challenges, but also reveals behind-the-scenes secrets that few people know, offering a different and deeper perspective on this famous show. One of the most memorable stories Laura shared was about the Madagascar poop flu, a severe diarrhea illness she contracted during a season of Naked and Afraid in Madagascar. This was one of the toughest challenges she had ever faced, as she not only had to fight the harshness of nature, but also had to endure sickness, making it impossible for her to eat properly. She describes the extreme difficulty of surviving in such a weak condition, and it was experiences like this that made the survival journey even more brutal than ever. Nevertheless, beyond the physical challenges, Laura also revealed that the psychological factor plays a crucial role in survival. According to her, survival is not just about skills, but also the ability to cope with stress and maintain mental strength in difficult situations. She emphasized that the ability to motivate oneself, persist, and maintain a positive attitude throughout the journey is what determines whether we can overcome the challenges or not. In addition to stories from the show, Zerra also shared her life philosophy and personal experiences throughout her years of growing up. Although she had an unhappy childhood, she found peace in life as an adult and realized that happiness is not about achieving perfection, but about enjoying the small moments, learning, and exploring the world around her. Laura also believes that success is not about never failing, but about the ability to get up after each failure and continue learning from it. She is always seeking ways to improve herself, from learning woodworking to survival skills like fixing cars. She believes that facing challenges and learning new skills is the way to grow and find joy in life. Additionally, Zerra expressed her love for experiencing life from different perspectives. She enjoys embodying different animals, from mountain lions to ants, in order to better understand the natural world and how each creature survives. She believes that changing perspectives helps broaden understanding and provides valuable experiences. With her confident insights and strong life perspective, Zerra proves that she is not only capable of facing extreme situations, but also of overcoming any life challenge, from surviving deep in the wilderness to contributing to society during difficult times. She is also confident that she has the skills to survive and endure in any circumstance, from apocalyptic scenarios to everyday survival challenges. But in her challenging life, what does Laura Zerra carry to ensure survival in the wild? Is there an item she cannot do without when stepping into her adventures? Let's explore her special bag, which contains important survival tools that few would expect. Oh shit! Bag? Laura Zerra is not the type of person to venture into the wilderness without thorough preparation. In her survival gear, which she humorously calls the "oh shit" bag, every item has a specific reason for being included and is carefully selected. Zerra's bag is always wrapped in a thick layer of plastic, not only to keep the items inside dry, but also to be able to use it as a survival tool. In an emergency situation, she can boil water right inside this plastic bag. While drinking water boiled in a plastic bag is not the ideal choice for health, in the wild, it is still a much safer option than drinking untreated water. One essential item in her bag is fire paste, a mixture that helps start a fire even in wet and harsh weather conditions. It holds a flame really well, just like cotton balls soaked in Vaseline. Zerra shares. In the natural environment, maintaining a flame can be the difference between life and death, so she always makes sure to carry fire paste in her bag. Zerra also doesn't forget another important item, the Petzl Actic headlamp. 5 years ago, I never used it, but now I can't live without it. Everything becomes much easier when you can see at night, she says. With the lowest brightness setting, the headlamp's battery can last up to a month. According to the manufacturer, it can last up to 260 hours in energy-saving mode. For Zerra, this is an essential survival item in her "oh shit" bag. Another item she always carries is an emergency blanket, although not comfortable, and it can make the user feel hot and sticky. It is extremely important to prevent hypothermia. Zerra has found many ways to use this blanket, from stretching it out to make a shelter with paracord, using it as a rain tarp, to laying it on the ground to boil water as a temporary pot. If needed, she can also use it to create a solar still. There are millions of ways to use it, she shares. Most importantly, this blanket is so lightweight that it's almost weightless, a perfect characteristic for any survival item. With these items in her bag, Laura Zerra is always ready to face any challenge that nature throws at her. She also always carries other multifunctional tools such as a scalpel, compass, and paracord. Zerra doesn't pack all of her gear into one large bag. She keeps her sleeping bag outside, and instead of carrying a tent, she only brings a tarp, ensuring that all of her belongings stay dry. She uses her backpack to support the tarp or as insulation between her body and the ground. She considers her system to be perfect, only carrying the essential items, but each one serves its purpose, with no unnecessary gear. Although her life is no longer the same as her early days of adventure, Zerra remains a true explorer, continuing to pursue her passion and always ready to face new challenges in life, conquering new frontiers. In addition to participating in television shows like Naked and Afraid, where she returned in Season 18 to train new contestants, Laura continues to explore and share survival techniques through videos, articles, and photos. She consistently offers her thousands of followers an authentic look into the wilderness and basic survival skills, helping people learn how to face the challenges of nature. Recently, in May 2025, she shared a post on Instagram highlighting her connection to nature, along with a humorous story about taking her first bath after nearly 2 months of living in the wild. Not only is she an explorer, but Laura is also an author. She wrote the book A Modern Guide to Knife Making, a detailed guide to the craft of handmade knife making, a skill she is deeply passionate about. This book not only reflects her love for the art of knife making, but also serves as an essential part of her survival philosophy, understanding and mastering the tools you use. Her intense love for nature has always been the driving force in Laura Zerra's life. It is the motivation that keeps her exploring and the reason she tirelessly works to inspire others to connect with the natural world. She believes that living in harmony with nature is not only a way to exist, but also the key to truly understanding oneself. Although she has not publicly shared information about her personal life, updates on social media show that Laura still maintains a close relationship with nature. And there are no signs of settling down in one specific place. She continues to live with new adventures, constantly sharing stories and experiences about her nomadic lifestyle. So, what do you think of Laura Zerra? Share your thoughts with us after this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the latest videos.